Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline, and my today's guest is Dr. Agi Keramidas. Is that correct?
It's very close.
Close.
Congratulations. It's Agi Keramidas. Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Caroline. Hi, everyone. I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you for saying yes to our episode. And how are you doing today?
I'm fabulous. Thank you very much. It's great. I enjoy very much this conversation, so I was looking forward to this.
Thank you. And I would love to introduce you to the audience, of course. You are a knowledge broker, podcaster, and author, and you transitioned from a career as a dentist to becoming a personal development expert. After a midlife awakening at 40, you transformed from being shy and uncomfortable in social situations to hosting the top ranking podcast Personal Development Mastery and publishing your book 88 Actionable Insights for Life. You are dedicated to inspiring transformation and providing actionable insights to elevate others on their personal development journeys. Welcome to the Inspired Podcast, Dr. Agi Keramidas.
Please call me Agi, Caroline.
Agi, not
Just
Agi.
Agi. Agi. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
Yes.
I have
I
to.
don't mind about the doctor bit.
It stands there in it
I
is there in your.
I know it is. Yes, I know it is. I know it
Okay.
is.
Okay, let's start. It's very impressive, your profile and your bio. I love that so much. What specific event or realization sparked your midlife awakening and set you on the path of personal development?
It's a great question to begin with. Yes, that was the reason, what sparked my midlife awakening, as you said, was when I was about 40. I had just finished a master's degree. I went and did a master's degree in aesthetic dentistry. So that took me 2 years, a very huge amount of time, and a considerable amount of money to do over 2 years. And when I finished and graduated, I found myself in a very awkward situation. Instead of feeling super pumped and willing to apply all this tremendous knowledge I had to my patients, instead I found myself completely unmotivated, confused. I didn't want to do any of that. I was not sure what was going on. I felt like something was, wrong with me. But that was the event that triggered my awakening, I like to call it, rather than a crisis, because it allowed me to see my life, to reflect on my life up to that point, and realize that, I'm 40 now. I don't want to spend the next 40 years in a similar trajectory or path like to how I have been. Of course, that took me many years to be able to say it so simply as I say it now. But yeah, that started the process for me.
Wow, I understand. So you finished your master's degree, and after that, you were not happy with the outcome, maybe happy, but not by doing it, applying it, or working in that field anymore.
Mm.
So you decided, or you not you decided, you noticed that it's time for a change. And in the beginning, you didn't know what this change would be, but you found out because you gave yourself the time to do this process, right?
I think it's important for each of us when we find ourselves in those situations that we feel that, like something is not right. It's different for different people, but you do have a feeling that something is off. It's not like how I would like it to be. And I think that is a very good opportunity always to take a step back and do some introspection, some self reflection, because that feeling of discontent or being unsatisfied or unfulfilled or confused or whatever that might be, I think it is a message that is there for you. There is a reason for you feeling that. And unfortunately, many people carry on ignoring that. They know it's there, but they carry on doing their life as they have been. So I think it's a great opportunity when we feel that to take a little step back and look carefully at really inside of us and think, okay, what is going on here? What am I feeling? Why am I feeling like that? What is it that I really want? You know, there are some questions, Caroline, that I started asking myself at that time in 2016 when I started personal development. And I had never thought earlier on to ask these questions to myself, ever. For example, one of those questions is, what's most important to you in your life? When I first read that question, I thought, oh, I have no idea. And of course, I didn't have any idea because I never took the time to do exercises and look into myself and find out who I am. So I think, yeah, that is, I believe, a very good opportunity for anyone to look inside when that happens.
That's so true. And you talked about the opportunity given by life when you have those feelings, feeling of, yeah, now it's time to change or something feels off. And also, I think maybe you mentioned it or you didn't. Is it like a calling?
It depends. I think the calling might come afterwards. Sometimes the calling is there, but sometimes you have to discover the calling. And the only way to discover something, from what I understand anyway, is to start looking for it. It's unlikely that you will discover something if you completely don't take any path, any steps in that direction. So I think the calling comes. It might not be there in the beginning, but once you start walking the path, and I mean the real path or the path that your heart is telling you that is right for you, then the calling will appear. It might happen gradually, but yeah, you will get connected to something, let's say, that is beyond you or further than you or bigger than you, if you want.
Yes, I understand. You have to discover, you have to move, take action in order to discover. You have to be open, ready to receive, of course. Let's have a look at my next question that you receive. Can you share a key actionable insight from your book that has had a profound impact on your own life?
Thank you for this question. I actually have the the book here. The If I were to pick one right now, the one that comes to me out of many that have made a big difference in me, in my life, the one that feels very important to share today is having a morning routine. And when I say morning routine, I mean a structure in the beginning of my day and some elements or some actions or some things I do anyway that I follow, not in a rigid manner. There is always flexibility, but generally the beginning of my day is structured. And it's structured with things that are time for myself, like journaling or meditation or yoga or some kind of exercise, things like that. And it can be as little as half an hour. But I never had a morning routine before I started my journey the last few years, and I realized how empowering it is because it really sets the tone for the day ahead. You start your day very intentional, structured, and doing things that, you know, have the potential to empower you or strengthen you, and you bring that or you can bring that energy, if you want, that vibration that you get during your day. Whereas if you start the day either completely unstructured, or turn on the TV, or start scrolling on social media to see what the other people are doing, or checking your emails, or these terrible things for the beginning of the day, then you've already given away all your power to whatever you will discover when you look at your screen on, or whatever it is that you are doing. So I think it's a big topic, Caroline, but if I were to pick one out of those 88 that the book has, would be to have a consistent morning routine, whatever that might be for you. You know, it's different for different people, but I think the main elements are more or less the same across different routines.
Oh, I love that so much what you said about keeping the power, not giving it away, and then, of course, make a decision not to drift. You talked about structure as well, and not more than, let's say, 30 minutes, you said. You talked about journaling, meditation, and it is only one insight from your book, 88 whatever it is. So I highly recommend that we dive deep into that book by buying it, of course. It comes, you know, I created a list for all of my podcast guests with all the books. So there's a link. There will be your book as well, and people can look it up. We are episode 378. And I put the
Congratulations.
number, then, you know, I put the number and then the book, and you can look it up. So it is very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing. My next question is, how do you believe curiosity plays a role in discovering one's purpose and mission in life?
It's a great question. I think curiosity is what needs to happen before you start exploring. If I share a personal example, and maybe that will make it more relevant. When I started my first podcast in 2018, it was curiosity that led me to do it. I felt drawn, or it was like a small voice, oh, this looks interesting. So when I say curiosity, I mean in that sense of exploration. If it happens to be joyous exploration, then even better, because it means that there is this element of emotion there, and that means that you are heading to a very good direction. But yeah, I see curiosity as a necessary element for exploration. It goes behind. So what I always say, and I will give this as an invitation to someone listening, that if you have curiosity about something, or if you have been curious about something, whatever that might be for you, might be horseback riding, I don't know, it might be you know, swimming, see what you can do about it. Take you know, go on the website and research it, or make a phone call about it. Whatever it is, one tiny little step towards satisfying that curiosity. And you never know what might happen. Sometimes you would be surprised with how beautifully things change when you decide to take action on something that you felt curious about. You said earlier, Caroline, you said the word calling. It in this sense, I think it might be, curiosity might lead to your calling eventually. So by all means, take action towards your curiosity, satisfy your curiosity. Now, there is a reason why it's there.
Wow, I understand. So we talked about discovering your purpose and calling earlier. Now you talked about curiosity that opens the door, so to say, to discover your purpose. This is so beautiful what you shared. Thank you so much. And talking about your own purpose again, do you set goals for yourself or intentions? And what is one of your next projects?
Thank you. Yes, of course, I set goals and I have quite detailed ways of setting goals over the years. There are from annual goals to quarterly to, weekly. But and intentions, I enjoyed how you asked the questions because the goals is one thing, the intentions is a different thing, and I think, however important goals are, and they're necessary to have because goals are very, or they should be anyway, very clear and specific and, time bound and so on. However, the intention, I think it is something deeper than that. And the intention is the energy that you bring with you when you are working on your goals. It is something different, it is deeper, and I think it is even more, if not more important than goals, to have set intentions, what you want, why you want it, and then allow that to guide you toward your goal. I hope that makes sense as an answer. Thank you for asking me. It was I, I never had the chance to express this in such a way before.
Thank you for answering the question. Of course, it's important to set goals and intentions every day. It's like the morning routine you are following, for example, structuring the day. And when people reach out to you now, or they want to, after listening to this episode, where can we find you?
Thank you. My podcast is called Personal Development Mastery. And if you enjoyed listening to my strange Greek accent in this podcast, then you will find me there and you can continue the journey. You will find it wherever you listen to your podcasts from.
Yes, we know all those beautiful streaming platforms like Apple Podcast and Spotify, Deezer, Audible, Amazon Music. I have to mention them all now. Good
Sure.
choice because
All
I
of them,
love them
yes.
all. Are you on YouTube as well?
I'm also on YouTube. I'm also on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. You will find me there. Feel free to send me a message. I will be very happy to connect with you.
That's great. This is also the purpose of this podcast, my podcast, connect people all around the world. And please reach out to Dr. Agi. He's amazing. And yeah, this was our podcast episode. I'm so happy again that you said yes. Now is time for your last thoughts to the audience, please.
I will add to what I said earlier about the curiosity, and I will expand it and make sure that the listener takes action on it because, as I was saying earlier, it's very important. So, whatever it is, take a moment right now and think what is it that you want to do, that you have been wanting to do for a while and you have put off, or you have some interest, or as we were saying earlier, curiosity to do. Take a moment and just think of one thing that draws you, and then take one simple action towards it over the next you don't have to do it right now if you're driving, but over the next few hours, I would say before the end of the day, just take some small action towards it. Might be researching online about that, or it might be sending an email to a friend that knows about it. Whatever it might be, take a small action towards what you would like to do, and see what happens after that. It can be very powerful.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing. I didn't expect this. So you gave us a little exercise. Please don't do this while driving. And you inspired me to do this more often in the coming episodes, of course. Thank you so much, Dr. Agi, for being our guest today. And this was our podcast interview.
Thank you very much, Caroline.
And see you in the next episode.